Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Naked Europa, or should I say Naked on Europa. As you can see, let me just come out of this. I've dug a big hole. I extended the pipe out all the way to the end here, and I've done a bit of drilling. I did some with the miner ship as well, just to clear out some of the ice so we can get the drills in. But I've hit a snag. The snag is, just put some of this back on here. Iron, yes. We are kind of directly over nickel, and nickel takes forever to process, and I don't need much of it. So I think what I need to do is to try to find, like, it's giving me the center of the iron being down there, but if I just go down there for a second, I'm not sure if I can get back out again if I do, there's not much iron there. So I'm pretty sure this whole thing, seeing nickel all the way out to here, cobalt, irons over there. I'm not sure there is an easy way to identify exactly where the iron center is, but it's iron I want. So I think I might have to break the pipe at that point, just where I'm pointing there, and put another hinge in and try and bring it more over this way. Just see, we've lost the iron again here. Yeah, it does kind of, it's all sort of mixed in. Yeah, more iron all the way up here. So at least there's less cobalt and nickel over here. Maybe if we just extend it out a little bit and try and get over this bit. Otherwise, we're going to just spend forever processing nickel and cobalt, and we really don't need that much of it. So, just to give you a catch-up on what I've done, obviously the pipeline took a lot of time to weld. And in the manufacturing plant, of course it's going to get noisy now, isn't it? And lights back on. What I've done is I've channeled all of this, so it no longer connects here. I think you saw me putting the batteries in just as a backup. I put a seat here to save me keep running back and recharging. So I've added 2 more refineries, and they're in order of yield, let's call it that. So this first one is still, just pull that out, 4 speed modules. So that's just for fast processing of, the basic stuff. This one has got 2 yield modules and 2 power modules. So it's kind of a happy compromise between getting the most, did I say power? I think there was a speed actually. Yeah, speed. So 2 speed, 2 yield. So yield and speed is a kind of a compromise. And then this one is 4 yield modules for things like gold, so that we can get the absolute most out of what we get. So these are the outputs on this side. They feed through here. This sorter just simply allows ingots to pass through. That then joins the output of that one with another sorter here. Again, just allowing ingots to pass through. And then they combine at this point. This is our basic one. Output comes back along here, joins that's a T-piece into here, and then this one just lets ingots go through. And I realized after I'd placed it that this one could actually just be over here, turn the other way round, and we could just T-piece in. And I might change that later if it's decided we need to extend pipework out, maybe here. So you can see I finished the hydrogen tanks. They're all piped in. They're all, well, in the process of filling. I don't think that one's got much. No, they're all empty at the moment. This one's still filling. I've added a load more O2 generators, as you can see, sort of crammed them in everywhere I can. And then, as you saw, there's an entire bank of them here. They're all piped into the floor. So as and when we get ice, we should be able to process a reasonable amount of it. At least that's the plan. Storage wise, completed the storage up here. So that connects to our pipeline, and I put a couple of oxygen tanks in there just because obviously we need to refill oxygen from time to time. I never did do anything with this, but it's available if we need it. So there you go, you're all caught up. Right, the airlock that has given me so many headaches. I think I've come up with a way in which we can make this work. It's a bit of a cheat, if you want to call it that. Let me just check. Yeah, so coming into this area just triggers that timer, my new airlock timer, and nothing happens when we come out of it. So if we put this on constant depressurize, so depressurize is on, toggle block on, that's going to always try and remove the air from within that compartment. Okay, so let's just shut the doors. Oops. Yeah, that's a problem with sensors. Now, which sensor did we do? Yeah, that one. So when we walk into there and the sensor triggers, we wanted to make sure both of those doors are closed. So let me just come to a terminal, timer, menu airlock. So that's the job of that one, which will be on trigger now. That one is simply going to make sure it closes both these doors. So let's just start that again, just so that we can be sure. So we have the inner one we want to close, and the outer one we also want to make sure is closed. Okay, so the plan is now when you walk into that sensor, it will close the door no matter which way we come from. And I'm not sure why that's venting air. Not sure why that didn't close. Let me just check this. The pressurize is off again. Sure, I just changed that to depressurize on, but never mind. Right, so both doors are closed. So then what we need is another timer. Let's go back to here. So we're going to call that menu airlock close. If I could get my shift key to work, that would be great. And then we're going to use another sensor, let's just say that one. Now this is going to be triggered by our exiting the sensor field. So we want a 2-second delay to give us time to get out of the door. And then essentially we want to do the same thing again. So if we're going to just go in and shut the door, 2-second delay, and then shut the door, then why do we need a second sensor? Oops, wrong button. We've got a 2-second delay set up on this one, and all that does is close the doors. So the minute we get into the timer here, we want it to close the doors, and then when I open the door and walk through, we want it to close the doors. So the easy way of doing that is on the sensor we can say, okay, set up action. So here we want this to trigger now, and then when we leave it we want to do the same thing again. Just for the sake of ease, let's do a search. Oh, menu. So airlock closed. This time we want it to start the timer. So that one's going to trigger now, that one's going to start, and that's got a 2-second delay on it.
Energy low.
So if I come out of there, we should have a 2-second delay. and then it'll close the door. Let's get some energy. So now we're coming from within here, which will be pressurized. We want to go outside, so we can open the door, we can walk in, it closes the door behind us, we can walk out. That's already depressurized, so any air that got into there when we walked in is now saved. And the same applies for if we go this way. Closes the door behind us, walk out, 2-second delay to get out, it closes the door behind us. So that's all done with one sensor and one timer, which I think is quite a neat solution to the problem of how do you stop air leaking out. So there we go. That's my invention. I don't think I invented it, but yeah, I think that works quite well. Right, thank you for your suggestions and your comments again, and all your likes. I'm very surprised how many people are actually enjoying the series, so thank you for that. Also, a suggestion was I could save a block of space by replacing these lights in the ceiling with inset lights, and as I did there. And that is a very good idea, but I'm not short of space at the moment, at least. So I will bear that in mind for the future. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm just trying to give you a bit of a catch-up here on what I've done. Right, something else, and I have to wind back on something I said, I'm afraid. Can't get on there. When I built this miner, I could just get up on top of it. There we go. I said that I wanted to leave some space, particularly above the connector here, because I had plans to try and automate the mining process. And I did. I did have big plans for that. I felt I had enough abilities to make that work. Unfortunately, it doesn't. And I can actually demonstrate why it doesn't work. The plan was originally to use, I suppose, basic task controllers or the recorded task, and a combination of overrides to put the miner in a position above an ore deposit and then have an override push it forwards as it mined with ejectors to get rid of what you didn't want. In order to make use of the event controller when it gets full, we need it to back out from where it's just drilled into in an exact straight line. And you can do that by flipping the move controller around and pointing it backwards. And that all works perfectly. However, there's no way of telling it when it's clear of the hole. Simply because if I just get a sensor, where did I put the sensors? Nope, that's cameras. I'll use the normal sensor. And I'm going to put that on just somewhere we can just play with it. It'll do. Okay, so just going to set this to, I don't know, let's say 1 and 1. Might need to increase that to demonstrate, but we'll do 1 on that one as well, and 1 on that one, and then back is 0 and front 5 meters. Yeah, we call it say 2.5. Don't need to go nuts on that. So not worried about the audible. I'm going to leave detect players on. I'm going to put floating objects on. We don't need any of those. Detect asteroids is on. Detect owner, it doesn't really matter. And I will show on HUD, and then we will show sensor field range, just so that you can see it. Okay, so you can see it's red at the moment. Just if you look at the edge there, you can see the thing is red, and if I walk into it, you can't really tell, but it does actually change because it's detecting me. Maybe if I just move the ship out a little bit. That's all on. So just go to here. I'm probably going to have problems getting back into this thing now, aren't I? Be careful of that. In fact, just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to go and park it somewhere where I know I can jump onto it if I need to. Okay, so we're nowhere near the ground, and as you'd expect, it's not sensing anything. Okay, just come out of that. Okay, so if I go in, you can see the color change as I go into it. It's definitely detecting me as I go up. Okay, which obviously is the plan, because I left detect layers on. But let's make sure I get back into it. If I come down to the ground here, get something behind it, it's not detecting the ground at all. And if I could find some floating objects somewhere, let's just go over to the mine. That pipeline is definitely in the way. Sure how much you're going to be able to see in the dark here. See if I can get down. There are obviously floating objects down there. There. So it's detecting floating objects as in the debris that we've ejected from our ship. But obviously if we're mining, we're going to be chucking that out everywhere, and it could roll and float anywhere. So there's no guaranteed way of knowing like where that's going to be. So that kind of curtailed my plans for being able to make an automated miner, because the original idea was simply it would mine until it was full, and then it would back out from the hole that it found itself in until it cleared the ground, and then it would obviously come back and empty. So yeah, I have to revoke what I said earlier about possibly making it an automated miner, because with that problem I can't see a way of doing it. And I have checked on the various websites. Unfortunately, it did used to work. They, for some reason, stopped it from working. So there we go. That's unfortunate, but let's make sure I get the right thing here. Seem to get the sensor. Sensor. Yeah. Yeah, so very annoying. Consequently, I'm going to have to rethink the whole automated mining thing, and the best I can do is to set up some kind of a a ground mining system from the end of our pipeline there. Right, so that's got all of that out of the way. Wow, that seemed to be an awful lot to catch up on. So set up ice and ore mining, that's that one. Scavenge Gonzalez Hope I have done. I did that off camera because there wasn't an awful lot. It was just grinding everything down, so no worries about that. Set up the refineries we've done. Those should be all good to go. More power, I don't think we need more power on that miner. However, we might need a better miner. So just take that out for a second. Traditionally, gold comes in very thin bands, sort of striations within the ground. So ideally you need a kind of a specialist miner for gold. If I just leave that for a second, let's just come out of that. Our gold mine over there, wherever it is over there, is also a silver mine. And I could set up a similar sort of thing to this, but that's 120 meters and took ages. That's 600 meters. I don't really want to put a pipeline up over there. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is to try and build a miner that can, first of all, clear down to the gold in maybe a big vertical hole, and then give us a wide, what's the word? A very wide but narrow cut. I could do it on this miner and just put lots of drills out, but this miner doesn't have an enormous amount of storage. And if I increase the storage, I've got to increase the lift. We are surrounded in hydrogen. Everywhere we look is hydrogen, and we're going to be manufacturing hydrogen. So I think the best thing to do is to build a hydrogen miner. Which means we need somewhere to build it. The obvious place is here, but I don't think this is high enough. So I think what I'm going to do, if we just get some this, just go to bold colors, that'll do. I'm going to move this docking port for two reasons. One, I don't think that's an ideal place for it, and the other is I want to put a wall, stroke window, stroke another airlock, and that's kind of in the way. So I think that's what we're going to do now. Not sure where we're going to make our new docking port yet, so I'm just going to sit this down here for a minute and we'll actually turn it off. Just better check there's nothing in it. Yeah. Okay, so would kind of be nice to have an upstairs docking port because we did put a connector on the bottom of that. But I think for now, let's change this around. And that way we can put the door in. Don't want to take up too much of this space in case I want it for something else. So let's put, got one here somewhere I have. Oops. So we'll do an offset door. Going to need extra blocks. No, we don't actually need an extra block. Just trying to think of copying the other design, as that seems fairly successful. So here, I think we can possibly get away with those, maybe? Just thinking on my feet here. Don't really need that one, but we'll leave it for now. That gives us a block in the middle so we can put our inset light up there. Can find it. We'll do it that way. And we could obviously do with a vent in there to depressurize. And that's kind of okay. Can work with that. Yeah, it looks a bit shabby, doesn't it? See if we can tidy that up a bit. Gives us a few more possibilities. And then we've just got to worry about this block, which looks kind of awful. Maybe just leave that as a front door step. Yeah, that probably works. Yeah, that's not too bad. So the only problem I have then is this thing here. Just going to take a few plates out of it to remind us we need to put an air vent in there. And seal the edge. I don't think we need the extra room at the side of it. So we can put our sensor back in there. Let's see the arrows. Yeah, I think it's that way. Okay. Very difficult to see those little arrows on it. There we go. Yeah, if you're wondering what I was talking about, see them now. It's got these two little white arrows for the top. So that's going to be pretty much the same size as the other one, maybe a little bit narrower. And here, we can just continue that on. Let me just go and copy these, because that beeping is annoying me. Set light, no. Come on. Mining transport, okay. Okay, so this is the main. Don't really need these here because they will take up an extra block, but we do need something there just to seal that off. I'll leave the corner for now. We can always put something in there later. Okay, so that's that bit.
Energy low.
Of course it is. Now we do have the sun setting over that way, so possibly another window. And we're going to also have to think about somewhere to dock our ship to. Right. Okay, for now, these doors are, let me just call them all up. They are going to be operated in exactly the same way as these. Now, the only thing those sensors, or the sensor does on those, is to make sure the doors are shut. So I think we can kind of cheat. Try to get the right one. That's the outer. And that's main. Okay, and then we've got the other one. Is an inner and main. And we copied the settings for the sensor. We can probably narrow down the left and right a little bit. So bottom and top is 1 meter. I think that can probably be the same. Just check. Yeah, 1 meter. And yeah, that should be good. So then the actions for it are, we called that, can't spell, called that a manu sensor. We can change the name of that later. So that's going to be a trigger now, and then it's going to be a start. And we don't have to worry about depressurizing at the moment because we haven't got a thing in it. So ultimately, if we end up with a lot of doors, and we can rename that now, we can always just put them in a group. So here we want to do, so we've got manu inner, that's the main, manu. So we just want to make sure that's closed, There we go. So it doesn't matter which way you go, as soon as you leave, after a 2-second delay, it will shut the doors for us. Beautiful. Okay, so what have we got left? Well, there's a half block there. That's no good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So too high. So we could do 2 by 2 with a thing in the middle, maybe, or depends what else we want to put in this room. I'm not sure at the moment what we need. Change those. And maybe just for aesthetics, we'll go back to these. That gives us the same edge here if we want to put a corner on. It actually takes the whole block up. Okay, and then we just got the middle bit. And kind of like to keep these thin, or at least as thin as is thinnable. So I think we'll just do a couple of those for now. Might change that later, but yeah, it does kind of cut off the light sides. I think maybe just do those thin plates for that. Could of course put another window in there, but I think that's okay for now. And we're using some kind of different textures there. Yeah, that's alright, we can straighten that out later. Okay, so the only thing that we're missing in this room, apart from the vent in that door, is a vent in the room, which hopefully now should be airtight. But I'd like to be able to put something in to get up onto the roof. Could use a ladder, but they're a little untidy. I'm going to have to do something with that. That's going to annoy me. So we need to connect into there under the floor and bring it across again under the floor to connect to a vent in there. So let's put that in first. Some lights on. And make some space. Should have maybe done the air vent first. Anyway. So let's stick that on there. And sure what color I used for that. Let's just copy that one. Okay, so now when we enter it, closes the doors. When we exit it, closes the doors. Excellent. So we just got to set that one onto depressurize. And we should be good. So now we just need some kind of a vent. We've got an output on the top of here. We can use that. I think maybe a thick pipe would be better. Get the right one. And I think probably... Which way do we want it? We'll face it that way. We'll use this as our conveyor up onto the roof. And I think we can probably just use the thin one here. I think we need... Yeah, should we use the new one? Looks better. And there we go. We have oxygen. Lovely. Now we're nice and warm and toasty. And that looks a bit bad, doesn't it? Maybe we need to change those blocks. Which means we need to get rid of the oxygen. No, we got plenty of it, but no point in wasting it. So that's a half block, so we can just use one of these here, I think. I could use the other one to give it a sharp edge, but we kind of got the flat edge on those, so it matches better that way. Okay, now we should be good. Lovely. So now we need a way upstairs, and because upstairs is outside, I think the best way of doing that is outside. We could do it from just move this away. We could do it from within here and put another airlock on, but I don't think there's much point. Those as well. Beautiful. Works a treat. And oh yeah, we need to change that one at the top as well. So, kind of a little bit annoying if I have to run all the way round all the time. But a kind of a cheat way of doing it would just be to bridge over the roof there. Windows on two sides. And we do have a doorway here. So maybe do something here. We got any stairs? No. Apparently not. Get rid of the bed. And I think the ladder is the key block for the stairs, so we'll just go with maybe, yeah, because we've got these blocks here, that's going to be a problem there, isn't it? Could do it that side. Nothing to attach that one to, that's the problem there. If we put that one there, that one's going to be there. I think it's going to have to be that one. I want to try and double back on myself at the top there, so we're going to need something there. Kind of wanted to just use the individual ones there, or the half stairs. Then we'd have to use a half stair here, but then I could double back on ourselves up there. Yeah, I can flatten that off at the top there, so that would work for that. So this is the problem one. So we need an attachment point, which is going to mess up my lovely design. Well, we'll have to rework all of this, I think. And then I just need something to pin that onto there.
Energy low.
And more energy, apparently. So, what can I do away with? That one, and I think, where are we? I could use a light there, but the light stretches the whole way along. Alright, let's just get some more energies. That one kind of doesn't quite join, but I think it's as good as we're going to get. And I know we don't need one there, but just for aesthetic purposes, I'm going to put it in anyway. Okay, so that gets us up to here. And I guess we could do the same thing. Kind of not in really the right place, but we can put a railing on there, maybe. More stuff. I don't know which one of those I need. Is it left or right? Oh, I'll do it this way. It's left. Okay, so I'll just weld all this up. Alright, so that's our roof access for this one. Now we do already have a position here that we could dock to, and I'm not 100% sure. Is it that one, I think? Actually, we should go and depressurize before... Oh, okay, that's dangerous. Yeah, so it's that block there, so that's the wall, got a spare block and then it, wall, spare block, then it. Interesting. So wall, spare block, then it. Wall, spare block, then it. I think that's right. Or not. With the right block it would be a help. So it's that one. Okay. And I didn't bring the stuff up. One of those. So we'll go and get that. I was thinking we could just put a connector buried in it, but I don't really like doing that because it gives you problems with air tightness again. Seeing as I put the pipe in, I thought we might as well put that in. But in actual fact, I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah, that said, this is in the middle of the room. We might want to move it. Oh well, we can always move it if we need to move it. I think that's all we need. Okay, just going to rename that so that we can find it later when we need to. So connector base, roof. I'll just put personal because it's more than likely only going to be available for me to dock to. And that's all we need on there. And yeah, quite safe to jump off the roof on Europa. Ah, wasn't far off. Not a bad guess. Oh, and it's 8 this time, it's the other one. Okay, so that's got a little bit done. We've got access up here, we've moved the dock, we've made the main area airtight. So we can now scrub that off. I'm going to consider the hydroprocessing finished, although there's probably more to do. And we've enclosed the main area, so that's good. Long term is still long term. Now, I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Yes, gold miner, I didn't finish that off either. The reason I say I'm not sure how we're going to do that, my original idea was I would just set up a base here, build everything, and then take it down and deliver it to him. And I still think that's probably the best idea because we've got everything set up here. All the manufacturing is set up, everything we need is set up. However, it's 157 kilometers away over there. And that's going to require a jump drive, which, well, I suppose you don't need a jump drive, you could just cruise it, but ideally a jump drive. We're going to need a jump drive to get home anyway. So that means building essentially a large vessel, capital vessel. And we're going to need a large capital vessel anyway to get home. But to carry the stuff I need to carry, we're going to need a fairly big vessel. And I forgot to weld those up. So the thought occurred to me that we could just build a small vessel and get down to Mars and then just set up enough infrastructure to build what we need, get it delivered, get Nomad off our backs and push on home. So there are two alternatives there, and I'm genuinely not sure which one I want to do. But it seems silly to have all this infrastructure set up here and then go and try and repeat it all down on Mars. Let me just get some steel plates and weld those up before I forget. So, with that in mind, should we build a large vessel up here? That one. There we go. Yeah, that's my question. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to make a decision before you all get to comment on it. I definitely need to get some sort of automated mining going over there, and I need to get some gold mining over there, which means we need a bigger miner ship or a more proficient miner ship. So I think that's what we're going to get on with, and if at all possible, I will delay the decision on how we approach the whole delivery thing until you guys have been able to make a comment on it. But so yeah, so the options are build a large vessel here capable of essentially travelling back to Earth, wherever Earth is, and use that to do our delivery, or just build a small vessel, enough to get us back, even if it takes some time to cruise, just drifting, to get us back onto Mars, and then set up some kind of infrastructure there to be able to build what we need to build, get Nomad off our backs, and then come back here to build our large vessel. Kind of sounds simple when you put it like that. Let's just build a large vessel, deliver it, and go home. But of course, life's not that simple, is it? So, right, let's get on with some stuff. First things first, our mine. I think if we're going to do a lot of work over there, it might be a good idea to have a cargo box access over there. So I'll take the steel with us. Let's get a cargo box so that we can build one over there. I think now this is a station. We should be good to cut into that. And I just need to bring the pipe down from the top there, which can't quite reach. Yeah, can't reach that one. So we're back to ramps again. Didn't you just know it? We can get on there. And I didn't bring enough stuff for the pipes. Silly me. 5. Okay. Then we can get what we need from within that, hopefully. And I don't know why I've got that selected. So, as you can see, predominantly where we are is all nickel, and the iron's kind of more that way. So I think, at the risk of giving myself more work to do, I'm going to strip this down and maybe move it over. Yeah, I think that's the best thing. Kind of annoying, but what can you do? So I won't bore you with all this. Get to that one. I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, welcome back everybody. So I put a hinge in here, spent this pipe, and then I had a run around that area, and I've put a block down wherever seemed to be the edge of the iron, and as you can see it stretches way up there because we've got iron here as well. So I think I will be okay on the iron supply. It's just it's not where I think I started on the very edge of it where it merges with the other two. So we need to stretch out there. So I've pointed this kind of near as I can to the center. Get it a little closer yet. There we go. So I just need to continue extending this out. I'm going to put a support in here anyway, because this thing gets quite heavy and I don't want it to drop any further than it already has. So to do that, we need to convert this bit to a station. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Oh, no, it didn't. Come on. I think maybe we need to go and lock that hinge. Jiggling about a bit. Let's try that. It's flashing. There we go. No, it says it does and then it doesn't. Come on. No. I think we might have to do the landing gear trick again, unfortunately. Which is a bit of a pain. Let's just give it one more go. There we go. We got it. Finally. After a few attempts. Okay, so now that's a station. Can take those off again. And I thought we'd move our cargo box up a bit. So go to that one. And then I can take all this scaffolding down and rebuild it somewhere else. So we can switch that one off now. And it doesn't need to be a hinge, but there is no other way to put an angle like that, so it'll have to stay there. Just chuck all that back in there for a minute. And we're going to need just one more of those. Could have changed those as well, but maybe we'll do that later.
Energy low.
Of course it is. Right, I'm going to nip back, get some energy, and then I'm going to build the pipes out to that central point. Hopefully that's the central point. And then we can get on with some kind of a piston drill setup. Okay, so that's the pipeline to the right place at least. I'll leave the marker ones in for now, just to give us an idea how big this needs to be. Because it's already a station, I'm able to obviously place the ramp in without any issues. So the question then is, obviously we need to clear out the ice, which I want, because I want to process it. I think we can probably take that off for now. Might need to put it back later. So we just need to start with some drills, and if I can remember where they are, which of course I can't. Where did I put the drills? Ah, there they are. Yeah, so we can't quite get one on there, or there, or there. But we're not far off. Only a little bit of ground think if I can maybe put them on a block higher, that'll probably work. Try this one first, because if this one isn't touching the ice, the others definitely won't. Oh, alright, well, we might as well chuck the components in there then. Or not. Yeah, not really, is it? Okay, so I think we're going to use the ship just to clear some ice out, give us some room to work. But before I do that, what we can do is, if I can find it, as usual, haven't got it. We can put a rotor on, because the whole thing's gonna need to spin. Oh, wrong rotor. The right rotor. I think that got it. It didn't seem to take very many parts. No, as I thought, it didn't. Strange. Okay, so we're just going to lift that head up a little bit. So it has clearance. And yeah, just take the surface ice off, I think. The easy way. Yeah, no parts. Still don't think that's deep enough for drills. No, quite. Alright, more digging. Right, should be deep enough now. Sure we're going to be able to get at the drills. Okay, so we don't have any steel plate. We could convert to small grid here. That's always a possibility. But I figured we've got the resources anyway, and I want to leave it run unattended. So the less complications, the better. Can we access that? No. Can access that. Kind of hoping that's not going to destroy itself. Just to make sure we've got a clear circle to work with. Oh, no, can't get on that. Oh, nearly. Spend all day doing this, couldn't we? Yes. Okay, so start with the rotor. And I think around about there. Oh, maybe not. Thought about it, didn't it? Right, drills. Turn those off for now. Okay. So we know we've got essentially a 5-block clearance there. What's the best way of getting a piston into that lot? Alright, so you can start working straight away. And you're going to have to be careful swinging that around, I think. But certainly underneath here we're going to have to clean some of this out. Like that. Shouldn't be too bad this side.
Energy low.
Let me out. Some energy. Okay, so that gives us maximum sort of permutations. We can swirl it round, we can drop it down, we can start to dig a bigger hole, and then we can add drills onto the arm as we go. That's the plan. Let's see if the plan will work. I have to be careful swinging this round the first time. Let's go this way. We give it plenty of time. Cut things out as it goes. looks pretty clear. Speed that up a bit. Now we just got to keep an eye on the other side when it comes around to that. Should be okay, I think. Let's get ready in case we need to change it. So we're nearly there. Just got this little bit in the middle, and then we'll be able to flatten out, put some drills in a proper formation, and actually get cracking. Be interesting to see how thick the iron is here, how thick the layer is, because further over, if you remember, it was quite a thin layer. Okay. Now, we need to group the drills ideally, and it would be kind of nice to have a button to stop and start it. Ooh, that's noisy. Okay, so piston wise, it's currently on retract. Right, I'm going to set the maximum distance for this. Just need to clear enough space, so maybe 1 block length perhaps. And then we'll put that on its very slowest, which is actually way too fast. Go really slow. Give it time to rotate while we go and get some energies. Oh. So what we can do to make a bit more room is actually just swing that hinge out a bit. Going to go to about 15. Close enough. And then that should just clear out some space around. And get another drill or two on the end.
Meteor storm inbound.
Oh goody. Okay. Getting closer. Base is doing a good job there. Alright, so that's a couple more drills on. Add those to the group. And turn them on and start rotation. Just going to let that go around one full rotation and then we'll do the piston again. Obviously we're not drilling anything in the middle at the moment. So we're making progress. It's a bit long-winded this, I'm afraid. I wanted to try and make it a little bit more automated using ships and dropping off ore and all that kind of thing. Clearly wasn't to be. But I think that's good enough for now. Let's get back to the base. You can hear the refinery struggling to do something. Yeah, we might need to build a gantry for getting into that. It's a bit high, isn't it? That's pretty noisy. So, how are we doing here? So we're doing pretty good actually. That's the small cargo container over by the mine. That's now emptied. The large cargo container, it's just emptied. So the O2 generators are pretty much keeping up with what we're getting. And refinery wise, yeah, so the commons one is the only one that's working, which is good. And that's okay, well it is collecting now. It's not processing as fast as we're mining it, but that's okay. Doesn't need to. And battery wise, about half full. Pretty good. Fully depleted in 1 hour, so at this rate it can't sustain itself. But that's okay too, we can deal with that. Let's go back in through our wonderful airlock. Stop my energy up just so it doesn't annoy me. Turn my lights off. So, I think that's a, well, finish. Nice and ore mining, because we've kind of set it up now, it just needs fleshing out. So gold miner, I'm going to try and build struct large miner, can't spell, large miner for, let's call it flat mining. So by flat mining I mean something that can get the striations rather than making a big circular hole. I mean it'll have to make a hole big enough for itself obviously, but we're particularly interested in the striations. So that's going to take a little bit of planning, I think. Base wise, build the hangar garage here. I think with all these meteors that we're getting they are coming a lot closer. So I think that is something I would like to do. So to do that, we're going to need a couple of merge blocks. Can get the right one. A couple of those. Some steel plates. And I think what we're going to do is actually consider those towers as complete. or as complete as they're getting. We need to stick a merge block on each side of that. Wrong one. There we go. Did I put that one on right? That doesn't look right. Sure that one's right first. Okay, and then I'm gonna merge. Why aren't you merging? I've never seen them flashing before. It's giving me that red hinge thing, so I think maybe if we just take that out. There we go. That's merged. So it just didn't like the whole merging process with the hinge in, strangely. Okay, now you know. Learn something new every day.
Inventory full.
So, happy with that. Got that corner done. Let's say I'm thinking moving that one further down, maybe to the corner of the manufacturing building, just to get it away from this one. We don't need to be that compact now, but for now I'm going to leave it the way it is. Take that off now. So there we go. I think for now, guys, I'm going to call it a day there. We've got quite a lot done. I'll go and switch the mine off, actually. Sure, that's not going to be doing anything now. There we go. Save that power as well. So yeah, spreading out. Kind of got a start on our mine. We've covered over the rover and exposed the mining ship. Maybe we need to make a hangar for that at some point, but not too worried about that for now. Turn the lights off again. So yeah, base, build, hangar, garage. I'm going to leave build hangar on there just for the miner ship. Not least of all because it probably won't be coming with us when we go back down to Mars, so we want to put it somewhere safe. So I'll leave that there. Construct large miner for flat mining. I'm going to leave that on there. Not sure. I'll play with some ideas, and then finish the main mining system. So yeah, there we go. Quite a lot done. Well, did we get quite a lot done? I'm not sure we got quite a lot done, really. It just seemed to take forever. But thank you very much for watching anyway, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye now.